Davis is going to fight Jake Paul, and we're going to talk about it. A couple of things you need to know about this fight. It's a public relations save for the camp of Gervonta Davis, and in the part of Jake Paul, it is merely to keep him busy because at this point, we don't really know what his career trajectory is going to be. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to wait for a few more people to pile in here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all right? Because we're going to get this on and cracking right now. So, do you remember not too long ago, maybe about early summer, midsummer, June, July, Gervonta Davis had a domestic case going on. He was supposed to fight Lamont Roach. What happened? Obviously, Lamont Roach was a very close fight. It's also a very dangerous fight. And in turn, if he was to get into this fight with Jake Paul, by the way, a lot of speculations that are going on right now. We don't know if it's an exhibition or a pro fight. We're not going to know right now. More details are going to pile up regarding this particular matter. What I am going to speculate, it's going towards an exhibition. I can't see what world they would have Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis as a pro fight. It would seem highly inappropriate by every degree of weight class, also experience. Although it would be compelling considering that his brother did fight. Uh, his brother did fight Floyd Mayweather, so we sort of saw what size can really do in terms of effectiveness in a fight, right? Size matters, and I don't care what anyone says. Logan won that fight, man. Logan won that fight with Floyd. You can tell me all the boxing intricacies of, oh, he made him miss or he made him waste his load or this and that. Man, listen, the name of the game is hit him more times than the other guy is being hit. And I'm telling you right now, Logan beat the living heck out of Floyd Mayweather, and a lot of people are just not going to admit that. And why would it be implausible that that would happen? If you think about it, it's absolutely possible that he could beat him. The size factor is absolutely there. You can't deny the size factor. Watkins says, hi. Hey, how are you? Let me know what part of the world you guys are from. By the way, I'm just doing this a little bit in audio form right now, but yeah, we'll get right to it on this particular topic and subject, right? So for those of you that have just poured in right now, the reason why this is going on is because Gervonta Davis needs a public relations action right now. The domestic situation that he had going on in the summer, this is a reason for him. This is a reason for him to sort of cover this up. And a big event like this solves that problem. You know what they say, right? In the fight game and in the public relations fight business, a fight realistically fixes everything, and then a win on top of that. Oklahoma, okay, shout out to Oklahoma. Obviously, I'm reporting you live from Sacramento, California, represent right now. So, everybody around the world, don't forget to like and subscribe, tap in. Normally, I don't always, I mean, there are times that I do an audio only, but there are a lot of videos of me out there. So, Right now, let me just say that I'm sort of in a road trip, so being that I'm in a road trip, let me just say that, yeah, that is the main reason why I'm doing an audio form. But trust and believe, normally I do a lot of content that does have audio, video, me in a studio or me in an office or me anywhere outside of Sacramento or in the streets. I do a little bit of everything, all through just a vertical phone. And not only that, a little bit of some computer software as well. So, but on any regard, yeah, Jake Paul also needs to keep busy, right? In terms of money wise. Now, not in terms of so much activity. Now, it will help Jake Paul to get in there with somebody like Gervonta Davis, even if it's just an exhibition. XT says, I can't see you. That is for a reason. If you read on the description below, I had mentioned that this is going to be an audio form only. So you guys are going to have to forgive me. I am out in the field right now conducting other forms of businesses. Let's just say that. But here we are reporting to you in telling you the reason why this fight is happening. Once again, it's a public relations tactic for the camp of Gervonta Davis. That domestic case that he had going on during the summer was really bad for his brand. And as a result of that, he needs a fight where it has a high magnitude, it has a lot of attention, which is something that Jake Paul brings, and it's going to be on Netflix. And you know what they say in the fight game? Anything that solves a problem in the fight game is a win, and sometimes just showing up to fight. And in this case, it's going to be an exhibition. I can't see how this fight is going to be anything more than that, considering the weight differential, right? This is not like a UFC 1 situation with Royce Gracie and a 300-pound sumo wrestler, right? It's not one of those freak show fights that they are trying to do. Horizon GTAG says, hi, how are you, man? Let me know what part of the world you guys are from. Let me know on the comment section below. And yes, let me know what you guys think of this fight. More importantly, do you think that this fight is a good idea? So, yeah, going back to this fight, uh, ladies and gentlemen, right? Uh, Obviously, this doesn't seem like a real fight. You know what? It's like what Floyd's dad once said, right? Senior, Floyd Mayweather Sr. He said something to the effect of, you know what, man? Everybody wants to see weird ass ish. That's literally what this fight is with Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. It is literally weird stuff. Okay, it's weird because of the name that is attached to Jake Paul, right? The fact that people are still debating whether he's a boxer or not. By the way, that's another thing, right? That I want to address on this particular reaction, right? Is this guy still really a quintessential non boxer? Like, at what point do you label Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and as to say, hey, you know what? This is a guy that deserves a title shot at some point because you know it's inevitable. And it seems to be, especially with the boxing aficionados, not so much with the MMA guys. I see this more with the boxing people, right? The boxing people swear up and down that he's not a skillful fighter. But in reality, I always ask myself, what makes him different than anybody else that was rising through the ranks of boxing, right? They take a little bit of easier fights in the beginning, and then next thing you know, they start building it up. And why was Jake Paul any different in that particular aspect, right? He really wasn't. He was doing that same thing that most traditional boxers have done for the past several years and centuries. They've been doing the same thing. So what makes him, really any different? The only thing that makes him different is that he comes from a world of social media and streaming, YouTubing. And by the way, there's a lot of stigma that goes behind that. And it goes with people that cover UFC media, boxing media, and combat sports media. There's a big stigma that comes with that. Oh, well, you're just a YouTuber. When in reality, if you think about it, in the media landscape of everything else around the world, YouTube has taken over. It is only the boomers and the older folks that have this notion of YouTube is non-efficient, or it is a non-entity, or somehow it is irrelevant to the wider scope of what it means to be a celebrity or what it means to have real influence by the mass media. Now, don't get me wrong. The legacy media still has a stronghold, right? Like when you watch the Oscars, for example, or the Grammys or the Super Bowl, they have a strong hold in that, and that will always have a huge amount of eyes in comparison to, let's say, people just watching YouTube. But I think there's a shifting in culture right now. There's a shifting in culture. Sean Reeves says it's useless. What is useless? Are you talking about legacy media? I would agree with you that it's useless to the sense that it just pumps normie, status quo, low-hanging fruit. What else is a good way to describe it? Standard, minimum-based knowledge. Okay? Sean Reeves says, I believe it would be important for disasters. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So legacy media is still important for disasters. I think I would agree with that, right? Considering the fact that when you look at news, local news, for example, right? You look at local news companies. What do they have? What they have is helicopters to hover right above the city. Let's say KTLA, if you guys are down in LA, or KCRA up here in Sacramento or the Bay Area, all these legacy media news outlets, they all have a helicopter. So I see what Sean Reeves is talking about here when he says, yeah, it is important for natural disasters. But for the most part, when we're talking about political commentary, you're not going to Walter Cronkite anymore, or Barbara Walters, or who else was really big in the world of CNN? How about Wolf Blitzer? Who else was big in CNN? What is that guy's name? Anderson Cooper, right? Or in the world of Fox News, you have Sean Hannity, and then you had the former employee of Fox News, the one who got fired and the one who got bigger after that, which, by the way, is a good segue to this, Tucker Carlson. So Tucker, by the way, was another form of legacy media. Okay, although there's people out there that will swear up and down that right-wing media is somehow this renegade rogue media, but in reality, they are just another form of, how do I say this, controlled opposition, right? So Trish Regan, Sean Reeves says, who is that? Remind me who that is again. I would assume maybe that's a journalist from somewhere else, or maybe a journalist I haven't heard of, or maybe a journalist from legacy media of some sort. Yeah, please let me know and give me some context on that one. But speaking of, yes, the transition that I was saying with Tucker Carlson. So Tucker Carlson then goes on to YouTube, right? And then as soon as he gets into YouTube, he becomes his own entity. Is, by the way, quite successful at it because many people thought that he would need Fox News in order for him to continue his political, analyst type of content that he does, right? When people would seek him out on his YouTube page, just like many people out there would be seeking out any random person out there for any political takes of any particular matter, right? So that is the cultural shift that we're at. So the reason why I got into this tirade about the cultural shift of media and things of that nature is because obviously all of it relates to Jake Paul being a YouTuber and the particular situation that we constantly put him in terms of the box that we place him in. You're just a YouTuber, right? No pun intended when I say what box we put him in, because obviously the box that many boxing people like to look at Jake Paul is that of a negative notion that he is somehow not a boxer. Now, with this fight or exhibition, really, that's going to happen with Gervonta Davis, I don't think it's going to help his case any longer. And speaking of box, I think that Jake Paul is going to come to a realization one day, if he hasn't already really went after any title fights, if he hasn't gone after a title fight yet, he's going to come to a realization where maybe these Gervonta Davis fights, these Mike Tyson fights, these Ben Askren fights, these Nate Diaz fights are all that he can do. And if that is all that he can do, well, we can't really harshly judge his career in the same way that we would if, let's say, Dmitry Bivol or Arthur Beterbiev was to be in a losing streak in their career, right? After like maybe a couple of losses in a row, right? Like we would judge Jake Paul's career in a different light. We would look at it as a guy that, you know what, you came into boxing late, you got some big wins in the world of boxing, because let's be honest, right, for the level that you place Jake Paul in the box that you put him in, regardless of how you cut it, the Chavez fight was more than sufficient to call him a legitimate boxer. I mean, for crying out loud, Chavez was a former world champion. So I don't understand, right? Like, if you're going to place him in that box as a non-boxer, don't you think that by that standard alone, that Chavez is a formidable win? And if not, then it's only because your mind does not want to accept that a YouTuber is a boxer, and it is because a lot of you are poisoned by the legacy media as to think that anything that deals with YouTube or YouTuber or alternative media of some sort is somehow something that needs to be discredited immediately. And I wonder why. So that's a question that a lot of you guys have to ask yourselves. So this is what is going on with this fight right now. This is literally what is going on, is a publicity stunt for Gervonta Davis, because he has some situations going on with the law, and how to counter that is getting yourself a fight. Once you get yourself a fight, then you get yourself a position to make everybody forget, and especially if you do it at the magnitude that this event is going to be held in. Let's never forget that, right? The magnitude that this event is going to be held in is going to be really serious, right? It's going to have Netflix behind it, obviously. They did that Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. They're going to do the same thing. And look, make no mistake about it, this is going to be an exhibition. I don't want to give everybody's hopes up. Right now, we're in the preliminary stages of finding out what the reality of this fight is right now, right? The reality of this fight right now is, in my opinion, in the way that it's going to be announced later on, they're going to announce it as an exhibition. Now, right now, they don't want to give you the details. Now, why is that? The reason why they don't want to give you the details right now is because they want to build up anticipation. They actually want you to use your imagination and make you, they want to make you believe that it's going to be a pro fight, but it's not. Just think about it. The reason why it won't be a pro fight, the size difference, the experience difference. But here's another question that we can segue into the next topic, right? What level is Jake Paul really at to say that, you know what, these guys are not on the same level, right? Obviously, Gervonta has already been in the championship levels, right? Well, what about Jake? He's not up there yet, but he's an experienced boxer at some point. He's already had more than, what is it now, 12 to 13 fights, not including the amateur one that he had against Deji. Think about it. All right, so just wanted to give you guys a little bit of some view over there, so view of the sun going down. But yeah, man. So let me know what you guys think on than the fact that it's announced. They don't really have a lot to say on it. This is all than the fact that it's announced. They don't really have a lot to say on it. This is all within the preliminary stages. But rest assured, understand this is a publicity stunt for both teams. It's lucrative for both sides. But not only that, also, it wouldn't be fair to make it a pro fight. There would be just too much on the line. It would be a low risk to do it at an exhibition. Everybody is happy, makes money. That's really all there is to it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, inshallah.